Museums in Belize conserve wide collections of artifacts and other objects, including tools, ceramics, books, paintings, and other works of art that are of cultural and historical value. But taking care of these important antiquities and pieces of our heritage is no easy task. And so today, custodians of these artifacts, as well as private collectors, are learning how to manage their collections better by cataloging. Oftentimes, museums and other display galleries don't get to display or use their artifacts for teaching because they are inaccessible due to space, lack of information, and records. But this system will help to identify and label the items.
Some of them talked about what they learned with cataloging and what they plan to do when they go back to their private collections. We learned the difference between provenance and providence, the history of artifacts, and then where it was stored and who owns it and so on. So it helps also because we have our own collections manager who will be using some of these things to catalog the artifacts that are under our jurisdiction.
One of the things we're really focusing on this year is collections management. So knowing what you have, knowing that you can legally have that thing, knowing where it is, keeping good records and documentation on what that object is and what it means, so that you keep the information and the object together, and then how to prevent that object from being damaged. So that's by making sure things are stored well, making sure they're displayed well, making sure that you're keeping track of them, that you're keeping the area that they're in clean, different things like that, so that you can preserve your collections for as long as possible.
For the Museum of Belize and its sister agencies, there are strict protocols that are followed when preserving artifacts. This training aims to strengthen the agency's disaster preparedness plans so they can better safeguard and recover these invaluable pieces during times of disasters.
We've started to follow certain protocols as to how we move artifacts and how we store them. The museum, we have slowly been investing in the standard cabinets that we use, and then building the actual frames to store these artifacts. So it's a learning experience for us because we are a relatively new museum and a relatively new institution when you compare it to archaeology and so on. So I think exercises like these serve as refresher for my staff, and then it helps us also to see where we're falling behind when it comes to museum standards.
So one of the main things for storage is to make sure you have a secure place to keep something, and that secure place is protected from the elements, so that you're not going to keep something outside if you can keep it inside, that you're not going to keep it in a basement or up in the attic of your home, that you keep it in the middle part of your house where it's maybe more protected. And if you're going to air condition the space that it's stored in, you want to make sure that you air condition it all the time, because going from the heat of not air conditioning to an air conditioned environment is really stressful for an object to get cooled down and heated up and dried out and humidified all the time. So especially in a storage environment, if you can't air condition all the time, we recommend not air conditioning at all and using ventilation to, so fans to move the air around to keep things at a steady temperature and humidity.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.